let's kick off here with Oracle earnings. Could Oracle do it again in the cloud, Daniel?
Well, let's just say Oracle had a pretty good quarter. It was a mixed result on top and bottom, but overall, given the global macro situation, Oracle continues to impress. I'll spend less than 1 minute because this isn't really news. This is analysis, but just a quick minute on, hey, the company did well. It did great on revenue. It did good on the bottom line. It did add accretively a component of the Cerner acquisition, which made the growth look a little bigger than it really was. But when you pulled that out, it was still nearly 10% organic with constant currency, which given the macro climate right now, I thought was really good. But I went on Yahoo Finance. I did a little TV spotty. And my comment was basically, of course, you were away. You were away. So they had to bring in the B team. And so my comment was really simple, Pat. It was, this is a cloud story. This quarter for Oracle is a cloud story. The Cerner acquisition is a cloud story. It's a healthcare cloud. And we've all talked a lot about the importance of industry and vertical clouds. But it's really a good for you, Oracle, for starting to provide a level of transparency on your cloud business that sort of backs Larry Ellison's longtime comments about this company making this big transformation. You don't know the background. Oracle, about 70% of its revenue is totally recurring in the sense that it's all tied to its core and legacy business, which has always made it a very stable and solid business to invest in during periods like this, with a high percentage of that revenue accounted for. And then, of course, consistent margins, dividend, buybacks. The company does all the things that make investors feel more secure in these really volatile times. But is there a growth story here? And I think that's really what has made a lot of us as analysts excited. Now, they asked me the question straight away, like, what's up with the Oracle Cloud? And I think you and I have said this 20 times, so I'm just going to say it really quickly. The evolution from the original Oracle Cloud to now has been impressive. It's been very good. And that's why the company is seeing more wins. And then the company obviously has split its cloud story into really two buckets. It's an infrastructure story and a SaaS story. And now they're basically able to disclose very valuable data on where they're at. So the cloud revenue is going up substantially, 45% this quarter, $3.6 billion. So as I said, I think 1 or 2 quarters ago, it's more than a $10 billion a year business. That's pretty good. They also gave some data on the breakdown. So the infrastructure business, everybody always wants to know how much infrastructure is being sold. Well, it looks like Oracle's trajectory on the cloud infrastructure, its IaaS business, is about $4 billion a year right now. They had 0.9 this quarter, and it was a 52% increase year over year, 58% constant currency. And then, of course, for a longer period of time, we've been tracking the application revenue, the SaaS revenue, and that fills the rest of the gap. 2.7 billion, 43% up, 48% in constant currency, with strong back numbers from Fusion at over 30% and NetSuite in the high 20% of growth. So Oracle is a cloud story now. This quarter was robust. Guidance was solid. The economy sucks. And so right now, it really doesn't matter. And if you're good, if you're bad, everything that was good a year ago is bad now. But what I would say is if you're looking for a company that has a combination of stable revenue, good margins, is going to be robust and necessary in any economy, Oracle is telling that story. And they're kind of giving a little bit of a cherry on top by adding a higher growth cloud story that investors and technology enthusiasts should be excited about. Let's just put it this way. This ain't your mama's Oracle anymore.
You pretty much sucked all the oxygen.
Come on, it was like 2 minutes. I only talked for like 2 minutes.
No, you hit exactly what I want to hit on. But I guess what I would say is hell does freeze over as well. He's cutting deals with AWS to put HeatWave in the AWS cloud. And HeatWave, if you're not familiar with it, is a NoSQL database that can either be on-prem, can be in the Oracle cloud, can be in AWS. And it puts a lot of the data in real memory and gets a hell of a lot of performance out of it. And, here we have, if you remember, there are two companies that AWS makes fun of and picks on in all of their reInvent conferences. The biggest one is Oracle, and the second one is IBM. And if you saw OCI, which is their IaaS platform, OCI 1.0, it really was not good. It led in nothing. It was expensive. Larry brought in some folks from, quite frankly, he hired them from AWS and came in and built OCI 2.0, which is completely serverless. And he moved his applications, completely rewrote his on-prem applications that then turned into Fusion. So that 52% growth in IaaS is pretty much the highest growth rate in the top 5 clouds. And I know people will say, it's not that big, but it's at least $5 billion of IaaS, which is super impressive if you see that OCI 2.0 really only started 2.5-3 years ago. They've literally only been in business for 2.5 or 3 years with something that was even slightly competitive. So, hats off to Oracle. I don't fully understand why their stock skid more than most. Maybe investors were looking for a bigger bump from Cerner. Maybe not. Maybe you're
it's the
selling
economy, dude. It sucks. The economy sucks.
They dropped lower than others.
So you remember the CPI came out like the next day. So we got the inflation data the next day. And, while you were on vacation, I'm not saying that cynically. I'm saying that took the whole market down. It's such a huge magnitude. You want to talk about getting crushed? Wait till we talk about Adobe. So I'm just saying, I think, Pat, I think it's CPI. I think the inflation is way more persistent, and we don't have any strategy but a blunt force freaking sledgehammer to crush demand, and it's going to take tech with it. And I'm not happy about it, in case you couldn't tell.